Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
So Dean Webb is here, and you've heard Dean Webb many, many months, and he is the executive director of Faith Farm Ministries. And maybe I assume a lot of people know about Faith Farm Ministries, and I think this show today ought to all really be about what is it at Faith Farm, and how can you possibly take care of 400 people every single day for 9 months? And how do you pay for that, Dean? So let's maybe start at the beginning, how it started, how you've grown. You didn't have 400 people many years ago, but where it's gone, and you have such a great reputation, but I'm sure you need money.
Oh, yeah. Well, most nonprofits spend all their time out fundraising, and we spend our time in our little micro business enterprises that pays our day-to-day bills. And we use every penny of that every month. But the problem is, because we have not done fundraising in the 65 years we've been around, we have needs. For example, our thrift stores or box stores, and Macy's and all these people are closing down stores because people just don't go into the stores that much anymore. And our traffic has dropped along with that. And with that drops our revenue. Now, people have been really kind to call us, and when they think of donation, will call us first to come pick up a donation, and which we put in our thrift stores and sell. And that's been our lifeblood all these years. But the problem is people are shopping online, and with the nonprofit, it's a little bit tough with the IRS to start doing interstate commerce online. They slap our wrist on that, and so we're stuck with the box stores. So we're probably going to have to slip over into thinking about doing fundraising like all other nonprofits do.
Well, I'm sorry, you said that, so it's negative. Why is that a problem?
Well, we got to pay our bills.
No. Why is it a problem to start doing fundraising?
Oh, it's not. That's a good problem.
I know.
No, the problem we have is when we start trying to do like eBay and stuff and do interstate commerce as a nonprofit.
No, but fundraising isn't like that.
But fundraising isn't like that.
I want to talk about fundraising.
Let's
Why
talk about
haven't
that.
you done fundraising? Theaters do it.
Everybody does it.
What's
I know.
the problem?
We have it 65 years ago. Garland Eastham, our founder, started. He was a furniture guy up in Ohio that came down to start this ministry. And he thought that was the thing to do. We used to upholster furniture, refurnish it. Now we have such a volume of, thank God, the people in our 3 cities that we're located in will call us and donate their good household items, which we pick up and put in our stores and sell. And so that bill, we've kind of tweaked that and gotten really good at that because we support our entire $11 million budget that way. But last year we were down substantially. The traffic in our thrift stores dropped just like it did in Macy's and all the shoe stores and everybody that's closing down. So we're caught up in what's going on in the economy. So I can't increase that traffic anymore. We advertise, we do everything we can. So at this point, I just told my staff, I said, we've got to do at least some of what other nonprofits do, and that's fundraising. We've never asked for anything except give me your used good household goods that we can resell. We've never asked for money. We've never done it.
But
and we got to start doing that.
We have to. And my question is, you have so many success stories. Have you ever gone to all the people who've been through Faith Farm? That's where I would start. And whether they're going to send you $100 or $1 million or $2, I would start there. You have the list. And I think you'd make a lot of money from that. And it's not a bad thing to do because you have given them their life.
No, I know. We do have some people without asking. They send us money because they're so grateful for their life term. We have 2 types of people that come through our program. Some people that are embarrassed that they were ever addicted, and they won't give us a forwarding address. I mean, they just want, that's a part of their life they'd like to put behind them and forget. And they do. They just put it behind them and go on.
You wouldn't know how to get in touch with them.
No, have no way. They purposely shut us out. Now, there are people that are so proud of their recovery and what they went through their 9 or 10 months at Faith Farm to totally turn their life around, that those people do give to us, or they will try and get their parents to give to us. So we do get a few donations. I mean, it might be $10, $20, $100, whatever. But we do get some from the parents of some of the students that are proud that they've turned their life around.
Okay. Who really is in charge of those lists? Because you've gotten me really fired up here.
Well, Judy heads up our alumni department.
And that's what you call them when they've come through it?
Yeah, well, they get alumni membership certificate the day they graduate, along with their graduation certificate. And that's good until they make their first move, and then they don't follow up with us. So it's very hard for us to contact.
Wait a minute. And so you have email addresses for a lot of these people?
Well, they're not allowed phones or computers at work. So when they leave, they get an email address. But like I said, if they're the ones that we have are people that are proud, they turn their life around.
Right.
And they're not ashamed of it.
Have you asked those people for funds?
Yes.
Okay.
And they give to us. They don't have a lot of money. They've been wiped out when they were addicted, and they're all starting jobs, so they're not flush with cash. But we do have some to give, or like I said earlier, they'll get their parents to try and give to us. So we get some of that, and we never, and sometimes our biggest gifts are unsolicited. We had a lady whose sister in Texas, her husband was addicted and really bad, and she tried to get him to come to Faith Farm. Her sister lives in Palm Beach, so her sister in Texas, who has the husband like that, and her nephew were both addicted. And she talked to him about Faith Farm. And so finally she got them to apply, and they came in. They went to Okeechobee, actually, because they were in Texas. They wanted the wide open spaces like we have in Okeechobee. They didn't want to be scrunched in high rises in Fort Lauderdale at that campus. So they came, and one day I was up there for a graduation, and the guy came from the back. There was one of the two guys who had collected the offering in church, and he came up, and his hand was just shaking. He says, "You got, Mr. Webb, you got to see this."
I love it.
And it was a $100,000 check.
Oh my!
Now that lady had driven from Palm Beach all the way up there to see what a church service was like at Okeechobee, where her brother-in-law and her nephew were there. And they're still in the program. They're doing well. Matter of fact, that lady and her brother-in-law might stay around to be an advanced student because right now he's a little bit afraid to leave. He said, "I need more spiritual input. I need to be around other believers. I need around people who are cocooning me in love. I'm not ready to go out yet." And people that understand that, half of the battle in life is knowing who and where you are and where you're at. And he knows where he's at, so he wants to stay. I'm afraid if he left too early, he might fall again and slip and fall off the wagon. So anyway, sometimes that happens. People just generously bless us.
I have been in fundraising for a long time. I used to be at theaters, and I was always asking people for money and all. So what if you give me names and I write letters, just for instance, that woman, and tell her what a wonderful thing, and how much more can we get from you because we have other people? You don't have anyone doing that, do you?
No, I've been real careful with her because I've never had a donor that big ever at Faith Farm.
Fine, but she already did.
And I don't want to kill the golden goose. You know what I mean? I don't want to leap on her and say, we got one live one. I've been, God bless me, before I came into this, where I was allowed to give a 7-figure gift. And there's nothing like walking in and handing somebody $1 million.
Wow.
It is the greatest feeling in all of life. But once the word got out, and I did it confidentially, somebody in the church, the treasurer, once the word got out that I'd given the church $1 million, I want you to know I was inundated with people saying, "I wonder if there's more. I wonder how much more." And from ANITA, from that time on, for the next 10 years in Atlanta, I was suspicious of anybody who wanted to befriend me because I didn't trust their motives.
Right.
So because I've been there and done that and been the other side of the recipient of that, I'm extremely sensitive about that.
So that's why you need to get off that horse and let someone else ride the horse.
Probably. Yeah. I'm just really sensitive about.
I understand that.
People that do that.
I do understand that, but it's funny. People, if they want to give, they will, but they have to be asked. A lot of people will say, "You never asked, or I would have given." I've heard this before with anything I was involved in. So
yeah, I asked a guy for $1,000 once. And I said, your brother, now this guy's a huge developer in Palm Beach, huge. And I said, I won't use his name, even first
No,
name.
please.
I said, I'm just amazed that you know about us, and your brother came here through the program. You actually dropped him off at the bridge at Boynton, and his life was transformed, and yet you've never given to us. Can I ask you why? And I will never forget his answer.
You
It
didn't
lines up
ask
with what
me.
you
I'm
said.
sure he said.
He said, you have 100% of what you don't ask for. And you've never asked. So that's exactly what you're saying.
I know that because it's true. If you ask, they're either going to say no or they're going to give. So I am going to work with you on this because I know that I have a lot of experience and I love what you do. And we'll figure out how we can set up some sort of a fundraising. And I still think it's a lot of the people who've come there. And when they first come there, I'm sure there is an address and I'm sure there is an email address. Even if they have to give it up. We're going to go back to those people. I'm going to help you. You're going to put a committee together, and I'm going to be one of the committee.
Well, I will tell you this. Let me give you an honest answer. I hate to do this
No,
on the
that's
air,
what we're doing.
But okay,
we're doing this is a whole show.
I asked a student once who I had gotten a good job that we'd gotten him about him giving back, and he says, "Hey, man, I worked 46 hours a week in that program for 10 months. I paid my dues. I worked my way through and made that free for me. I've already given."
Because he didn't understand.
Well, and I mean, that's how he felt. He felt like, because we do have a work program. Now, see, I view it different as the students.
Of course, I do too. Like you said,
I think it gets them up to speed so they can punch the clock and go to work with the people that have been doing that while they're in the program.
Of course.
But, I mean, I've been to some other recovery places around here, and guys are just sitting with their leg thrown over the couch doing nothing.
No, I love what you do, and that's what makes it so successful.
But sometimes they do, honestly, Anita, they do feel like they paid their dues, if you will. But
they paid their dues. So now what we're going to ask,
parents.
what I'm going to ask is, what I'm going to say is, and that was wonderful because you were given an opportunity. What about the other guys now? Can you see enough to help them a little bit, help their families? No, definitely. No. Yeah. I'm very good at this. I'm going to have to help you because I don't want to see you at all suffer through not having enough money because I brag. I brag to so many people about Faith Farm. I mean, that's my I guess my charity of choice.
Well, you know what? We're very fortunate to have really a good relationship with Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Okeechobee, our three campus cities. We have really good favor with the public because they do think of us when they have items to donate. And they do think of us when they need to buy something inexpensively and come shop at our thrift stores. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But the other side of that coin is we've never made anybody aware that we have to have cash donations. We just haven't gone down that.
It's because I don't really think until we put this in our magazine all the time that they really don't know what your purpose is. Well, they know that you do something, but when you tell them that you take care of 400 people and plus now, every 9 months, and what you do, and now the way that you've even gotten them into college and all, they don't understand it. We have to make that part of our pitch to say, look, this is the most wonderful thing that you can give your money because you can see your money working. It's not like some other places, American Red Cross, good company, good organization, but, you hear they go off to this, there's an earthquake. Here, everybody represents something, and you can go see them, you can feel it. No,
it's.
I think what happened is, so just like you said, and I just tell everybody again, my wonderful guest, I love him so much. Dean Webb is the executive director of Faith Farm Ministries, and of course Judy Walters is a marvelous, marvelous woman. She was at the Boomer Expo yesterday. Just a terrific woman, and they both together would give their right arm if they had to get millions of dollars just rolling in so that they could feel secure and know that they can continue this program and actually take more people because there are so many more people.
Oh, yeah.
And now, especially, Dean, with
the opioid crisis.
I mean, you were having problems before this happened.
I know it. Yeah, it's just exacerbated the problem, believe me. It's it's really sad. People need to know what we do. It's funny. The Boynton Beach Church Fellowship Hall is a voting booth during the presidential election. The people came to vote. And there was a lady who handed out the sticker, "I voted, have you?" type thing to stick on my chest. And I said, and she said, "Thank you for voting." I said, "Well, I'm the director here. This is where I practically live," or at least my wife Cindy would tell you that. But anyway, and I said, she said, "Oh, well, I love Faith Farm. I've given to them for 12 years." She said, "I try and make, anytime I have good household goods, resaleable stuff," she said, "I always give to you." And I said, "Can I just ask you a question? Do you know what we do?"
I knew it was coming.
And this fuzzy look got on her thing, and she pointed across the parking lot to the thrift store. She said, "Yeah, you're a thrift store." I said, "That is a thrift store, but do you know what we do with the money?" And she cocked her head and says, "Not really." I said, "So you tell me you've been giving good resaleable household items to us and shopping with us for 12 years, and all you think is we're a thrift?" I said, "What if I told you we have 445 beds in 3 cities? We feed prepare 500,000 meals a year. We take people that are addicted, turn their life around. We nurture them. We give them GEDs if they don't have them. We give them college education. They can get up to 9 hours college credit in our program. And we take people that have been robbing from society, flip them upside down, turn them on their head, make them productive citizens. The fathers go home to be fathers to their kids and to husbands to their wives.
And now wives, and now women to their children."
Yeah. And she said, "Is that what you do?" I said, "That's exactly what that was." She said, "Oh my gosh, I never realized that."
So I want to go on that also, because that is an amazing thing, but it doesn't amaze me because when we show this in Boomer Times, a lot of people, I always have to explain, and of course in your little italics you always say that. So let's put our practical hats on. Tell me what you think people think. Why do they give the money? What if your money was going to put people underground in prisons? I mean, what do they think you're doing with the money? Have you asked it? I mean, what? This is hysterical.
I know it. It's funny. I said, there's a huge thrift store right up a couple miles north of us, and it's a guy from New York owns it. It's a for-profit thing, and he's going to buy another Mercedes with profits, or a bigger yacht. And I said, she said, and I described it. I said, "It's got 12 clothing lanes, checkout lanes." "Oh, yeah, I think I've been that up on A1A. I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "So you thought we were just like them? I mean, we were just going to buy a bigger yacht with the money instead of turn people's lives around?" She said, "I just never thought about it." She said, "I just didn't know."
Now, there are
she said, "I just know you guys are nice."
Oh, my. See, now, but I think that says a lot. I think it's more common than not. Don't you?
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
think so. It's more common.
It's one of the most difficult. Last month was my anniversary. I've been here 10 years from Atlanta, and I've just been amazed that I can almost ask anybody what we are and what we do, and they don't know, even though they've given to us for years, just for years.
So, I had to put myself in the same place, and when I think about it, I've been doing lots of, even before you came, I think I gave to Faith Farm, but it was kind of like, do I give to Faith Farm or do I give to this other? There's some other big places,
Goodwill.
Goodwill and all. And they were just closer, and I went there. I did not know this. I did not know either until I really started working with you. I did not know what you do. So you see, and I gave it. Now I'm thinking, when we give it to Goodwill, I know. See, now I'm not real clear on that too. They do good things with Goodwill. I know they. I don't. If you ask me, I really couldn't tell that either. but we're all trained to give your stuff there because something good's going to happen with it. That's what we think.
Yeah, Goodwill's they help training people that are handicapped, and I've been to some of their things. It's amazing what they do. By the way,
and there are other places. Let's see, Goodwill, and then there's
Salvation Army.
And they don't have a thrift shop.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll tell you, there are other thrift shops all in Boca along Dixie Highway, and this is for Alzheimer's, and this is for that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have it, and the cause is right there. So you say, oh, they're helping. They don't really know what it does. Maybe they send it up to the Capitol, wherever.
That's why Judy put 1.5 foot letters on the side of our bridge a drug and alcohol recovery center. When you cross the bridge at Boynton, it says Faith Farm Ministries, but she added this huge placard that goes around on both sides,
right,
so people know what we are.
Well, we have to. It looks like this is really going to be the big thing. We have to absolutely send out information. We have to send out information to the people who've been helped somehow. Right. I don't know. We'll get our heads together. That may not be as hard as you think. We can find them and all. We got to find them.
My book, You Turn to God, the stories of 50 graduates.
Yes.
My next book is probably going to have half as many stories, half as many graduates, but it'll have 50 stories. I'm working on getting the family to write me a story on what happened when their child went through.
Perfect.
And we've got a couple of really good ones accumulated so far. Yeah. And I think that'll help people. But unless you read that, and I've had people come back and say, God, I read that book. I had no idea what you guys did behind the scenes.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to try to do, Dean. We're going to figure out how we can get to the people. The first people will be like when you go, we have a theater. The people that attend the theater are the ones you got to go and get them because they like the theater. That's where you're going to get the money from. Then after that, you get big corporations or sponsors because they just believe it's a good thing for the community. So we have to get to people who don't know what you do as much as you think they do and let them know. It's so obvious now.
I agree. And
so good. I'm glad that your organization understands that you'll start doing fundraising. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's just that we evolved as one of the... we're probably the top micro-business enterprise nonprofit in the country. Nobody does the volume that we do, but we just have never done fun. Things have changed. You got to change with the times or you get left behind.
Well, and that's interesting you should say that. I told you we just had our Boomer Expo. We used to have it at Seminole Hard Rock, and we had buses, sometimes 40, 50 buses coming in. We had, it was very different, and we didn't celebrate the veterans. And then Hard Rock decided they wanted to do poker. They didn't want all the seniors to come there. They had enough seniors now. Thank you very much. And I'm saying, oh, my gosh, what are we going to do? And then through talking to people, and someone said, well, there's so many seniors. And, of course, my husband being, so many veterans, we decided we would honor the veterans. Well, it's turned into a major situation. And we had to find another place to go now because Seminole Hard Rock is under construction. It'll be for 2 to 3 years. We're now at the casino, Seminole Casino. And we had the biggest event, and we had all these wonderful veterans. And now we had to keep bumping this up. Okay, now what are we going to do to make it even better? And now we gave out silver dollars, and people love silver dollars. Oh, yeah. So that's where you are. You've been doing such a good job, but you got to keep it's like, what are you going to do next, right? Yeah. Well, we're going to start going after all the people that have been touched, all the people that have come. I'm sure you have a big mailing list. We're going to now do a great letter, and we're going to figure out what to do. We're going to get you money. I'm going to help you do this. That would be
a great help.
I'm going to help you do this.
My heart's really been touched by some of your listeners. We've had a couple of people that have, we have no record of them of having donated or given or shopped or anything, no credit card. We have no record of these people. But they have, a couple of them have I guess, heard this program and put us in their will. And when we get a big check like that, I can't tell you what it does to lift our spirits.
Of course.
And, and I said earlier that I'd given a $1 million gift once. I will tell you that I researched every little inch and question mark I had about that organization before I gave it. Because the Bible talks about sowing good seed in good ground. And I wanted to know that was good ground. I was putting my,
of course.
And I just think it's such a shame that now I'm running Faith Farm and I'm not making the money I used to as a businessman, because if I were, I would sow my money into Faith Farm.
Of course.
It's been going on for 65 years. It's been transforming lives. It's been putting husbands back with wives and fathers back with kids, and taking people that have been robbing and stealing to get drug money or alcohol, changed their life. Now they've got jobs. We've given them education, health in their back taxpayer community. And I'm going anything. And plus, Faith Farm makes its own way every month with this micro business. So I'm thinking any dime or dollar I give to Faith Farm is an add-on.
Oh, I feel
it goes on the top after they paid their monthly. It goes to help increase, add another bed, help a building, whatever. And so it's just good ground to sow money into.
Well, when we have something we haven't done is we haven't given your website. That's the way to do this. They have a great website, and it's so easy. It's called faithfarm.org. Faithfarm.org. Just go ahead and get on there. Just please, anybody. And you don't have to be religious to do this, because I'm not a very religious person. I'm a people person, and I would give any extra money I had to them, and you can. A lot of people don't want to give maybe to a church or something, but they want to give good money. Well, you can give it to these people, and it is the best place that you could ever give your money. Yeah, I know that.
And see, we're a very Christian organization, but ironically, the gifts that we've gotten through wills have been from Jewish donors.
Of course.
People that were Jewish that never came to us or anything, don't share necessarily the same value, but they recognize that we're changing lives.
Exactly. Exactly. And you never know who they had in their life who was an alcoholic or somebody, and they could appreciate what you're doing. The stories can go very deep, and we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But we have had a great show today, and I think it was meant for us, because I have a few things I have to do for you, but then I'm going to set aside some time, and I'm going to sit with you and whoever else it is, and we're not going to hear the word no. We're going to hear the word yes. We're going to see whatever you have. We're going to write a very poignant story. We're really going to do what we can to help, because you're the best organization, I think, in South Florida. Really,
well,
I believe that.
I believe that, but I'm prejudiced because I run it. But,
but I believe it. I know who you are. I've been to your graduations. For heaven's sakes, my mother's piano was there. Do you think I'd give that casually to someone?
No, that's used a lot, too, by the way, when we have events.
I know. My mother has something. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.